Good morning, beautiful humans. I know it's probably not morning whenever you're watching this, but it's 6 a.m. for me, and I'm just feeling great because what could be better than recording a video at 6 a.m.? Anyway, welcome to the channel where today we're going to talk about a brand new licensed kart racer, which is kind of like my thing. I just love this kind of stuff for some reason. It was one of the very first things I ever covered on this channel, and it's a fun thing to talk about. But this one's really interesting because we have a Disney themed kart racer this time, and so we've got Disney Speedstorm, which was announced on a Nintendo Direct yesterday. And so I decided to take a deeper look into it and give you all details on every single thing that we know about this game so far. I have 13 total facts today, which is pretty rad if I do say so myself, and it's just, this looks like another really interesting licensed kart racer with a bunch of properties that we all know and love. And so let's go ahead and just dig into what we know about it so far and then talk about what we think about at the end. So fact number 1, this game is developed by the Asphalt developer Gameloft. Not gonna pretend I've ever played Asphalt before, but it's a mobile racing game basically. And interesting fact is this is actually Gameloft's very first foray into console gaming because they were primarily a mobile game developer. I know that might send some red flags to people, but hey, they do have experience with racing games, and so we do at least know that they have some experience in that. And number 2, this is actually described as a combat racing game. That was a very notable thing that I noticed when they were explaining what the game was in terms of its style. And so whatever that might mean, who knows, but it looks like there will be a good combat aspect to this game beyond the racing, which sounds really cool. And number 3, we have a list of confirmed racers so far. Basically, they're pulling from both Disney and Pixar's library, but the characters that we got to see here are Captain Jack Sparrow, Mulan, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Sully from Monsters Inc., Belle and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. There's definitely going to be more characters beyond that, but that's the initial roster that we have so far, and they all look like they're having a blast here, and I'm really interested in seeing who else gets into this. Personally hoping for that rat for Ratatouille. I wish I remembered his name, but I can just imagine the kind of meals he'd be cooking up on the racetrack, It's just the best kind of stuff right there. And number 4, another noticeable feature that they mentioned is that you would be able to upgrade each racer's stats and make the most out of unique skills, which can impact the outcome of a single race and dramatically change the way you play. And so I always think this kind of mechanic in a racing game is very interesting because it's not really something that you see that often, actually being able to change the stats of your character and make them better, but it looks like that will be a consistent feature here as it was one of the most prominently highlighted aspects of the game. And number 5, we got to see quite a few tracks so far, and this is what was shown off. We got the docks from Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, we got the wilds of the Jungle Book, we got the Great Wall of China, which was seen in Mulan, we got the scare floor from Disney and Pixar's Monsters Inc., and we got Mount Olympus from Hercules. There's bound to be much more beyond that, but we definitely got a good set of courses here so far, and they all look like they came straight out of the movies actually, which is really cool. And number 6, there's going to be both solo and multiplayer modes here, which is definitely a given, but you're able to do tracks by yourself, or you could do both local and remote multiplayer, which is great because I feel like local multiplayer is something that's kind of being phased out, which is really silly because there's nothing more fun than playing in the same room with your friends, and so I hope that never goes away. So I'm glad that this game understands that. And number 7 though, one thing that's really interesting about the multiplayer is that Disney Speedstorm will actually support cross-platform play, which I find to be a little bit surprising, to be honest, for a licensed game. I think that's really cool that they're gonna promote that because even Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is still trying to work on that. I wasn't able to get that upon release date, and so it doesn't seem like something that's really easy to implement. So it's kind of cool to see this Disney game announce that it's going to get that from the very start. And number 8, one feature that is really interesting about this game is that it's actually going to be free to play, and so as soon as it comes out, you're able to play it at no cost at all. So we're basically going to assume that the actual stuff you pay money for will be through additional content. And you know what? That's actually fact number 9. Because this is a free to play game, this game is planning to get constant updates with brand new characters and tracks. They said that more details will be announced closer to launch, but basically we can expect more regular content to be coming into this game, which is kind of interesting but fitting for the company that is developing it, because since Gameloft is so used to mobile game development, they're probably very used to updating their games constantly, although it will be interesting to see how that translates into a console title. At number 10, while watching the gameplay footage, I noticed that one of the most prominent features that they showed off was actually grinding, which is not something you see every day in a kart racer, and so in some some parts of the review trailer, you could see various characters grinding on rails, which seems to be giving them some speed and taking them through various pathways and such. It definitely is a very interesting feature. The only other time I've seen this in a racing game is honestly Sonic Riders. I mean, there's probably another racing game that has grinding in there, but this looks exactly like how it looked in Sonic Riders actually, which makes me feel happy because I love Sonic Riders. At number 11, it's also revealed that each character has a powerful ultimate skill, which I'm assuming is something that's going to basically damage all the racers in front of you and also give you a boost of speed, you know, basically just something that will get you to the front as quickly as possible. We actually do see some potential hints of what some of the characters' ultimate moves will be like. With Jack Sparrow, for instance, he has a bunch of transparent swords spinning above him. And we also have Donald Duck, which you can see where you can see a bunch of transparent fists punching forward, and so definitely is going to look like something that's going to match the character's background and history. But nonetheless, I'm really interested in seeing what the other characters have in store. At number 12, we did get some quotes from both a developer at Gameloft and also Disney itself, and so this one comes from Alexandru Sasha Adam, who is the vice president and studio manager of Gameloft Barcelona. To work on a dream project like Disney Speedstorm, we are driven to create a game that feels like home for Disney and Pixar fans, but is also unique to the arcade racing genre. The gameplay mechanics, the race abilities, and location design were all tailored to serve our vision of a fast and gripping competitive experience. We can't wait to share this vision with players around the globe. We also got a quote from Luigi Prior, who is vice president of Disney and Pixar games. Disney fans are in for a full throttle experience with the upcoming launch of the high-speed racing game Disney Speedstorm. Gameloft has driven some of our most beloved Disney and Pixar characters to new heights with their latest interpretation, while putting a fun spin on their unique circuits and abilities to keep competing fans on the edge of their seats. Number 13, the very last fact is that Disney Speedstorm is slated for release in the summer, at least on the Nintendo Switch. There's no info on the other consoles yet, but I'm assuming it's going to come out at the same time for the other consoles, unless there's some kind of hiccup. But anyway, that is basically everything that I was able to gather about this game so far, and so just some quick thoughts about it. I was definitely not expecting to see a Disney themed kart racer here. I just feel like Disney doesn't really take as much of an advantage of the video game market as other companies do, like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, but it's really nice to see Disney get into the crossover, you know, bloom that seems to be happening with these licensed titles right now. I mean, we got Nickelodeon All-Star Raw, for instance. We also got Multiverses. You know, it seems like all these networks are trying to really cash in on the crossover appeal, and Disney seems to be doing that with a kart racer, which is a nice first start, and I'm hoping it leads to other things in the future. But I do want to say that the kart racer, from what I've seen so far, looks pretty solid. You know, there's not too much that we can judge about it yet, but I will say it does have a very distinct style. Like the transparent like power-ups that you see all over the review, it's definitely a very intentional stylistic choice here, because it's not as cartoony or as wacky as I would expect a Disney game to come out as, and so I do think it's an interesting presentation style that they're going for, and it definitely really feeds into that battle theme that they're going for with this game. And so I'm really interested in it personally. I'm definitely going to keep track of it. It's really hard to make a kart racer like exciting in my opinion, because there's not a lot you can really do to make it, you know, innovative and such, you know, or at least as exciting as a brawler, for instance. But nonetheless, it's always fun to see kart racers and to see all these different characters come in and interact with each other and just have a really good time. You know, there's so many great Disney and Pixar properties out there that I would love to see in here. I think my most highly requested one would probably be Incredibles representatives. Like, I love the Incredibles. It's just such a great franchise, and seeing some of those guys get into this game would be really, really great to see. There's so many great Pixar films though, so could honestly be any of them. I'd love to see a great variety, and just, yeah, I think this kart racing seems fun, and I'm really hoping that it's quality. If y'all ever played Asphalt before, then let me know what you think about that in the comment section below, because if that's a solid title, then I think we can expect some quality in terms of the racing here. But like I said, never played it, so I couldn't really say. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do y'all think about Disney Speedstorm? Are you excited for it? Are you all not? Let me know why not. Let me know what kind of characters and tracks you'd love to see in this game. I'm just looking forward to finally doing some Disney content on this channel. You know, that's something I've always been thinking about doing. I just really want to get into more licensed territory overall, and this just seems like the perfect time to jump into the Disney games. And so, yeah, let me know your thoughts, and then, yeah, I'll see you on the racetrack whenever that happens. Thank you so much for watching this video. Special shout out to my patrons, New Gamer Hub, Team Rattle Sign Gamer, Trash Q, Claw84. These are my patrons / YouTube members. If you'd like to become a patron or YouTube member and get access to a whole bunch of different perks, then please check out the links in the description box below. But alright, this is Riders, riding out.